Chapter 32. Like my eyes were suddenly opened, the reality of my life and present situation came back to me. "I'm dead, aren't I?" I asked. It wasn't really a question. I knew exactly what had happened. Kira looked up at me, but I knew it wasn't her. "What happens now?" She smiled wildly and stood beside me. "Now we enter the great presence. All the rich lives your soul has endured to get here will be made known to you. The Army of Light is quite excited to meet you. So few souls pass the test these days. Follow me." She walked away from me down the shore, with the obvious expectation that I would follow. I just couldn't quite leave everything behind. She turned and smiled again. "There is nothing to fear. You will see." "Wait, just wait," I said, getting to my feet, a bit of irritation still in my voice. "What if I don't want to go yet?" The smile quickly slid from her face. "Please don't say that, Finn. If you do not choose to move on, then you are stuck between worlds. You cannot go back because you are already dead, and you cannot restart because you passed the probatus. It is a lonely and painful, torturous existence between worlds." "You mean that I would be like a ghost, haunting people from beyond the grave, but not able to really impact anything?" She nodded. It sounded absolutely dreadful. "There has to be another option. You must know about Daniel, the boy. He needs me. They all need me. I can do more for the Army of Light back on Earth than I can here." I didn't really know if that was true, but hey, it might be. It sounded good anyway. The young girl seemed to consider it. "There have been exceptions in the past. You would have a very specific purpose, a special agent, so to speak, for the Army of Light. There is a very urgent need related to Daniel. It is a mission which I will require your entire life's devotion." I agreed nearly on the spot. "And what's the downside?" "You will have to die again and go through another probatus. It will be different next time. The darkest hidden demons change as you face them. Your fear of drowning and not being able to save a loved one from drowning is no longer your darkest demon." I nodded, thinking again about the writing on Nella's wall. "Take heed where demons hide." My next darkest demon was probably already in line. "Why do you test my darkest demons?" I asked. "That will become a weapon for the fallen to break us apart. They can see fear, and they will use it against you. Why do you think they killed you the way they did? You were too good at overcoming your other fears. They went right for the sure thing. If you cannot overcome your darkest fear, you are a liability to us. It would be better for you to restart and try again." She paused for a second, considering something. "There is one more thing. When you are returned, it will be at the exact moment of your death. You will likely die again and have to go back through your probatus. If you are bleeding out or are crushed by a falling building, you will be returned to that exact moment of death." My thoughts were on the water burning my lungs, the blackness surrounding me, hands and feet bound. That was my reality in the last moment. And I was afraid. "How many people have overcome their last moment of death when given another chance?" She shook her head. "Not many." "No worries, I don't usually follow the crowd." "So I've noticed," she said with a smile. "There are a few other rules that you'll be required to follow, and you can also ask some questions before you go back." "I can ask questions? Like, about this great presence and how the power works?" "I cannot answer everything for you, but I will answer what I can." "Get comfortable, sweetheart. We might be here a while." One moment, I am sitting on the beach, breathing the cool evening air. The next, I am drowning in the ocean, my hands tied behind my back. With my lungs burning from salt water, my thoughts turned to Tiffany, my mother, Daniel. Music played, and a light punched a hole in the darkness, my life slipping away for the second time. The light grew as if I was being pulled towards it. My heart beat hard against my chest. The light stopped just out of reach and turned blue. Not this time. This time, I'm not afraid. The cable ties used to bind me fell to pieces, my hands thrust outward, gas pouring from each. My head cleared the water inside my protective bubble, which was rapidly filling with air. The coughing and retching of salt water from my lungs made it difficult to focus on the power, but the sheer joy of being alive made it possible for me to maintain the bubble. I smiled through the taste of salt and blood from the intense coughing. It felt good to not be afraid. Slowly, I formed the dome into a complete sphere beneath me and felt it rise out of the mud, the chains around my feet cut to pieces by the barrier bubble. The darkness of the water was replaced by the darkness of night, the stars telling me I had broken the surface. Not far from me was the yacht, dimly lit by the deck lights. One of the deckhands noticed the disturbance and flicked on the spotlight. The smooth voice of Anan was rattled. "No, I sent you to hell." "Oh, I've been through hell. I'm back for more," I said with conviction. Lucy appeared at the railing and quickly motioned to the man standing at the controls. The engine revved up and the large yacht moved quickly away. The name on the back of the yacht was lit and said, Charon's Delight. "Not so fast," I said more to myself. I reached out and pulled back on the water beside the speeding yacht. A large depression in the water formed where I pulled, and the yacht leaned hard, nearly capsizing. It quickly cut the engines and rocked heavily in the waves. "We have some unfinished business," I said loudly. Moving the protective bubble beneath me, I walked on the water towards the boat. Lucy was there, her face distorted with anger. She locked eyes on me, and I could feel her raw hatred emanating. With a casual flick of her wrist, a wall of water rose between us, rising 20 feet or more into the air. The immense volume of water that came crashing back down would have crushed and killed anyone unlucky enough to forget their protective bubble at home. Fortunately, I had mine fully charged, the crashing water rolling down the sides in heavy sheets. By the time the water cleared, the boat was gone, the horizon clear.